Hi, my name is Andrea D. This podcast is called Do It Your Way. Now, today I'm going to go straight to the point. I am a big advocate and supporter of women in the entertainment business, especially women in the music industry, since I am part of this industry. And I try my best to use this platform to support interview women that are doing it, that are out there, they're living the life they want to live. And I really think that it's important that as women, we support each other. I believe that we should all support each other everywhere in the world, but especially women need to keep, we need to keep going. We need to keep fighting. We need to keep moving forward and forward and forward. Now, on that note, my next guests are they are four beautiful women, but today we have the privilege to interview two of them. They are part of a collective, a dance company called Feet Off the Ground. Now, I've met them as they came and performed to one of our shows, and they developed a very interesting technique of dancing that I've never seen before. And I have to say that I was blown away when I first saw them, so much so that even though I was on stage, I was looking at them perform and I was like, oh, Andrea, you're also performing, like, pay attention to what you're doing. But I was just blown away, not only by the way they dance, the technique, they are really beautiful, but also just the kindness. And I am a big supporter of their work. And every time I call them, I'm like, do you want to be in this music video? Or would you want to do an interview? They're always like, yeah, we're right there. Let's do it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is my interview with Feet Off the Ground. Okay, so today I am joined by the beautiful ladies of Feet Off the Ground. Now, I did a little bit of research and I wanted to describe you guys perfectly. So I feel like this is the best way to start the interview by saying the Feet Off the Ground are a female-led contemporary dance collective making engaging in physical work rooted in contact work, connection, and collaboration. I feel like this describes you guys perfectly. Yeah. So let's start by who are you and what do you do?
Shall I go for it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so me and Pat, we're 50% of Feet Off the Ground. So the other collective members are Robin and Luthia, who can't be with us today. So basically, we met at university. We were all studying at London Contemporary Dance School, and we decided to kind of form this collective back in 2013, and we've kind of been developing it over the last 8 years, and it's really formed kind of into something new and very special. So yeah, I feel very, very lucky to be working with some of my closest friends. So Feet Off the Ground, we're a contemporary dance collective. We make work, we create work, we perform it, we tour it. We also work with other companies, organizations, youth groups, different communities to create work on them and lead workshops. So our work is very varied. And as well as that, we do a shit ton of administration to keep the collective kind of going. So we wear lots of different hats all the time.
Yeah, it might amazing. I mean, it's great to say that because people don't know that there's the front and there's the back of the house. And the back of the house is as much work, if not more, than the front. Yeah. So definitely. So now you guys are four beautiful ladies working together. What are the good parts of working together and the more kind of challenging ones?
I think working as a collective, like the four of us, it works pretty well for us. I think because we all studied together, there's been a lot of time for us to get to know each other a lot, like to know what are our strengths, and we definitely like push that. The good thing that being the four of us is that we all have our own strengths and our own capacities, so we kind of delegate a lot, and we know and we support each other, and we trust that what we have to do, it's done. However, the challenge may be that sometimes like there's there's loads that has to be done, and like there's certain areas in the work that we do, like administratively, I would say that we are lacking or that we miss, and then like we suddenly come to a project and we realize, oh my god, we forgot this, and like, you know, like we have to put all the wheels in motion, like to sort those problems that sometimes can be last minute. But because it's the four of us, we somehow like manage to solve them. Creatively, I think we support each other, and we know what we like as a collective. We listen, and we, you know, like we give ourselves the opportunity and the chance to give feedback, to give suggestions, and like we kind of like work pretty well in that way, like in working as a group, and like together we create one thing. Like we may have different ideas and different paths, but like we give the chance to try them all, and to kind of like direct the work in the way that we like and that we think works well as a collective.
So you guys never argue?
We do argue.
Yeah, there has been heated moments, but never like, it's never got to like shouting. It's more like a, you know, a passionate discussion.
Okay, because Erin and we argue all the time. I mean, and we've been friends for 15 years, but sometimes it's like, bye. I mean, it doesn't happen. It happens less and less as we get older and more mature. But yeah, there's moments definitely where we're like, okay, take a break. I need a break.
Deal. I think what's really special is like, I feel like I can be so honest with everyone. I feel like we can be like very, always respectful, but we can be frank with each other. We don't need to like sugarcoat things or think about the way we say things. We can just be real. I think we've got such a strong foundation and basis of trust and honesty and open communication that things get resolved. Like if there's an issue or something that needs discussing, we'll just bring it to the table. We won't like pussyfoot around it and worry about it. We'll just be like, look, I'm feeling like this, or this isn't really working. What can we do? And I think we're really good as a group at managing expectations and needs and trying to, you know, fit everyone in, have everyone's voices heard, because it's hard working in a collective. We all freelance, we all have, you know, our own personal lives as well as our own professional lives other than feet off the ground. So managing these four different humans and kind of bringing them together, it's often like a huge jigsaw puzzle, but we do our best to like always accommodate and look after everyone and listen to everyone.
Yeah, and also I would say, because we work as a collective, things take longer than if you're working by yourself. In making decisions, like it's not one person making the decision, it's like a collective decision needs to be made, so things take longer eventually, but slowly they get done.
And they get, no, but I mean, from my perspective, which just watching you guys, you know, on Instagram and social media and everything, a lot of things get done. You guys are, you know, you're on it. And, you know, even contacting you guys, I get an answer like in the next 2 hours, 5 hours, I don't even know. But it was like, boom, some people I contact and they don't get back to me until a long time. So you do get things done. There's two things I want to go over. First, we talked about the administration side part of it, and then obviously the performance and the actual art of it. You know, nowadays, a lot of artists, we do that, right? We take care of everything just because this is the world we live in at the moment. Do you feel like that has an impact, taking care of all the administrative stuff? Yeah, we're going to make it, Andrea. Do you think it has an impact on your performance? As in, you know, sometimes I'm doing a lot of things and then I arrive and I'm like, oh, you have to sing. And then you know, I have to kind of bring myself, but sometimes it's difficult to get there. How do you guys deal with that?
Yeah, so it's so true. There's so much to sort out. I can't even imagine if you're doing that on your own. Like, we're 4 people and there's still so much to do, and sometimes it can get to the performance and you're like, oh my god, we've not even warmed up and this isn't done and that's done, and it can, and you have to then get into a headspace very quickly and focus on like what's the most the most important job. But without all those other things, that most important job won't happen. I can think of an example recently. So we were performing at a festival. It's our newest, well, one of our newest works, Creature Comforts. It's a duet. One Pat's on stilts and I play the child character. And because we have quite an elaborate like props and costume, and it's performed outside, there was so much to be done before the show. And literally it got to like 5 minutes before the show and we hadn't even had chance to like breathe, think about the show, or warm our bodies, which is not ideal in any way. It's like not what you would want, but it was kind of the situation we had and we just had to go for it. Constantly dealing with all of these like logistic things, and yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, and something like another situation recently was like we just at the end of July we finished a week of research and development for a new outdoor show, and at the same time we were applying for funding for the creation of this show. So that week was a week where we had to do loads of computer work, loads of administrative, like writing this application, at the same time having a research, time to do new things, and then time to show something. We were gonna be we shared kind of like bits of ideas and seeds of ideas that we had explored through 2 weeks in a live sharing over Zoom as well, or YouTube was. And that meant that we had to put loads of hats on, as Sophie was saying, like, okay, we have to do this admin stuff. We have to make sure that this show that we are sharing is working. We need to know like who's coming, and that can actually, be like, that can take away like the idea of like, okay, let's work creatively, let's really focus on what we have to focus. But it is what it is. Like, if we want it to continue, like the work, and to not having to wait for another year, we had to take that work, like we had to put that work in that moment. And that can be quite challenging, because you definitely want to work, like just focus on creation and like be creative and like explore ideas, but at the same time most of your brain is thinking of like, I have to do this. And our work ended up being like, we work for 7 hours or 8 hours, and then after that we have to, okay, open those computers and let's get that writing going. So it is quite hard. It is quite a lot of work that has to be put in place.
We were working that project, we were working at least 8 a.m. till 9 or 10 at night. It was really full on.
Wow. Yeah. But so do you have like a something that you guys do to kind of get in that place, or is it just kind of like the music start, or it's a look within each other, or is it something that, do you have like something that you do, or is it just kind of like just go? Because I found like as a singer, especially doing live streaming is a weird thing to do, but I find that I really need to get like 5 minutes where I'm by myself. If I don't get those 5 minutes, I even know what I do. I'm like, well, I don't even know what happened. I just can't be in the moment. My brain is. So is there any tricks or things that you guys do even separately?
I really think that each situation is different. Like, there's no one size fits all, and there's no kind of rituals that we do together or individually. I'm sure people have their own things that they kind of maybe want to, warm up or stretch, but I think it's so dependent on the day, how that day has run, the kind of logistics, the time frame you're offered to warm up or kind of connect with the body and breath, like how hands-on you need to be with the tech side. Are you like organizing the live stream? It's very, very varied. Like before the show I was talking about, the Creature Comforts duet, like we had no time to even think. It was basically like get dressed and go, no time for anything else. But before the Women of the World sharing on the revolving stage, which we did a few weeks ago, you know, we had a bit more time to do individual warm-ups and then come together very briefly. But I think it's very much the time and how the group's feeling.
Yeah. Is it the same for you, Patricia? Yeah, the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the four of us also before the performance, we have our own personalities and energies. And I think like, you know, like I am a person that tries to stay and I feel I am quite relaxed before the performance.
Yeah.
And I think yes, I think as Sophie was saying, like everyone has their own kind of personal things that we do, but we always somehow like, yeah, depending on what the situation is, like we always kind of come together, we hug each other, okay, let's do this, let's go on to and perform. Like I think that's something that we always do, like, or at the end of the performance we always have like a performance picture, you know, like a little selfie, like let's, you know, we've done this. But yeah, I think I agree with Sophie. It really depends on each performance, on each situation.
Yeah. There's this really, oh, sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
It's like, even if we've had very, very limited time, I think because we know each other so well and we trust each other 100%, we could have, it might literally be like you mentioned, a look, and we know we've got it, like, and it will be fine because we go onto that stage and we trust that we have each other's backs, and whatever happens in the performance, we'll make it work. And I think that's really special, and you don't get that on projects where you've maybe a group of dancers have been brought together by a choreographer, but you might not necessarily know them, you might have never met them, and you can't, that level of trust cannot be built in a day or on a 6-week project. This has been built over years and years and years, and that's why it's always my favorite performer with feet off the ground, because it's a different experience.
Yeah, I have to say that, you know, I went from being with the band, where that's where we met, to being solo, and I miss that. I do tour with girls. I'm in a tribute Spice Girl band, and I do have them on the side, and that's so good because, yeah, you have that turnaround. Something happens, you know, whatever, your headphones, your earpiece drops, something, but you turn around and you know that somebody else has your back, versus when you're alone is such a different situation, because you're like, and now, like I did a performance Saturday in St. Martin near Trafalgar Square, and then suddenly, I don't know, my brain just like went up and I was like, what the hell am I doing? But I had nobody to back me up. I was like, okay, so this is what's happening, and let's move over. So it's such a different situation, and just different of everything, basically.
Yeah, that's scary. Whew.
Yeah, there's growth to it because you get used to it. But at the beginning, I remember going on stage and be like, oh my God, like, yeah, I don't have coke to turn around to and be like, okay, just play because I need to drink some water. I'm like, okay, I need to drink some water. At some point it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So now, talking about your life on the side of feet off the ground, what do you guys do, and as professional dancers or anything else? What are your kind of, because you have feet off the ground, obviously you have your personal life, and then what is your professional life on the side of that?
Go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so right now what I'm doing, I'm a yoga teacher, so I teach here in London in various different studios every week. So I do that. I lead yoga retreats as well, and alongside that, then I am also an essential oils wellness advocate. So I educate with essential oils. My yoga classes are also with essential oils, some of them. So that's what I'm doing basically regularly, weekly. Um, and alongside that, then I also do feet off the ground. So at the moment, I am not focusing on professional dancing. Like, I'm not focusing on auditioning to other companies, because I purely want to focus with feet off the ground. This is what I like doing, this is what I love doing. So feet off the ground is, you know, my main source of like um dance love. And then I also do yoga.
Amazing.
So I still working for other kind of companies and organizations in a dance capacity. So I've recently started a new job with Tom Dale Company. He's a choreographer based in Nottingham. And I'm doing kind of a number of different things for him. So performances where necessary, kind of increasing his audience participation, so creating opportunities and events for local dance artists kind of within the East Midlands region, building up classes for beginners and people who have an interest in dance, and kind of more community projects, as well as building new connections for him to kind of expand the company. So that's probably my main thing, as well as feet off the ground at the moment. And I'm also touring an outdoor show called The Greenhouse. I've got my first show in a couple of weeks in Plymouth, and it's a children's show about the life of plants. It's really, really cute. So that's going to be fun.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
unless it rains, and then and then it's not so fun.
I want to thank you very much. I want to take it back to the beginning. Contemporary dance is such a specific art. I feel I never really got into it. I feel like maybe being older now, I would love it more and understand it more. But when I watch you guys, there's a lot of strength. There's a lot of female empowerment. Not even female. There's a lot of empowerment. There's a lot of strength. I want to know, where did that started for each of you? I know it's a different story, but how did you fall in love with dance, and specifically contemporary dance?
Well, myself, as a very, very young kid, my mom put me into dance ballet. I was doing ballet very, very young. And then slowly, I realized, well, I had a foot injury, and I had to stop that for a few years. And then on my 14, when I was 14 years old, more or less, I really felt the need of going back to dance. So I started contemporary dance, because I felt that I didn't want to do ballet. For me, ballet was very strict in a way, and also because I had a foot injury due to that, I didn't want to come back to strictly dancing ballet. Contemporary felt more possible for me, and I really like that it wasn't just one style, but I could do many different things, many different styles, and felt that was the right decision for me. So I started doing elementary, I think it is in Spain. So you I think you do 6 years of full training, and I did 3 years in Spain. And when I was on my third year, I was 18 years old. I decided that I wanted to really go out, because I knew that in Spain there wasn't like there was loads of training, but like I really wanted to focus purely on a good training for me. So one of my teachers there in Spain, she trained at London Contemporary Dance School in London, and she recommended me, and she said, go there if that's what you really want to do. So that's how I ended up being in London. And during those 3 years in London, at London Contemporary Dance School, we had a specific technique called contact improvisation. And the beauty of contact improvisation is that no matter whether you're a girl or a boy, you can make it work. You can lift each other with the technique and with the knowledge, and you can make it in a way that is safe and that is inclusive, that everyone can lift each other in some capacities. And that's something that to me felt like, oh my God, like I would have never imagined I was able to lift a boy on my shoulder, a girl on my shoulder, like all these things that sometimes feels a bit like only boys can lift girls. We are, like, and it felt that no way, like I can definitely, with the technique and with the knowledge, I can definitely lift someone without, and that felt empowering in itself. And then the girls had the same kind of, will to do contact improvisation, and that's how the collective was formed, because we had the same will to do contact improvisation.
Just before we go to you, Sophie, did you feel like there's a difference? Would you not be able to achieve this in Spain? Is there a different kind of dance technique or openness, or I don't know?
I was I was never introduced to contact improvisation in Spain before. It was more like solo dancing, learning different techniques, like learning how to use the floor, learning how to use the space, learning how to use your body in different qualities, but never working with a person and like creating contact and like working with someone's weight. I was never introduced to that. So my first year, it was very scary when I was at London Contemporary Dance School and we were introduced to contact improvisation. At the beginning, I felt like, oh my God, I cannot do this. But like through the training, then I realized this is what I really, really like. Like it feels empowering and it feels good. And it feels achievable, it feels very like, yes, we can do this, and the fact that you have to really trust this person, that you have to take care of this person, that felt that I really wanted to do it.
Amazing. What about you, Sophie?
Yeah, I think I'll go back. So I had always danced as a kid from like a very young age. The kind of general ballet tap modern, which in the UK was like the thing that you did if you danced as a kid. And I did gymnastics as well. I enjoyed it kind of, but I never loved it. And then when I was about 14, I started street dance and hip hop and really, really fell in love with that. And then quite soon after that, started contemporary and loved that even more. So when it came to kind of making decisions about my future, I honestly couldn't think of anything else to do other than dance. In the back of my mind, I was like, maybe a social worker. That was what my mum does, but dance was always kind of just always there, and it just felt like a natural decision to make. So that was kind of my path into it. And then, as Pat said, we had this kind of shared interest in contact improvisation, which drove us in coming together and kind of in creating this collective, which has shifted a lot over the years. But what I love about contact, for those who don't know what contact improvisation is, so it's an improvised dance form. So it's done spontaneously in the moment. It's not pre-planned or thought out. It's about listening and responding to your partner in the moment through kind of shared weight and playing with gravity and momentum. And it's always done through touch. There's always physical connection between the partners, whether it's 2 people, 3 people, whatever, a group. There's always that connection. And I think why contact is so important, the ethos of contact, it's a non-hierarchical structure. So it's all about equality and freedom and listening and tuning in. And it's those values that we have based Feet Off the Ground on. So we call ourselves a collective, not a company, because with a company, you've got, it's kind of top down. There's a boss telling the next people what to do and so on. And we're all equal. So we make decisions together. We dance collectively and we work collectively. That's why I think contact really, really informs our work, not just physically, but also, kind of those fundamental values that underpin us.
It's very interesting because you speak about connection, and Patricia speaks about empowerment. And I think obviously one works with the other. It would be really interesting to have Lucia and Robin to have also their input, because I'm sure they probably will come up with different things, and that's why you guys are all four together doing it. So that's great. Very, very interesting on the listener's side, and to see how it all comes together, because there's the physical aspect of dancing, but there's also this really, like I said, we talked of empowerment and connection. That's even more like Patricia, you were saying, when somebody, you have to feel the weight of somebody, so you have to be connected. And we talk about connection. There's this whole kind of area, and watching you guys, as when I've watched you guys, I always felt like it's so strong and so powerful. So I really invite everybody that's listening to this podcast to go and see you guys, because it's really every time, and it feels like it's a journey. Every performance you've done has been a journey. So really congratulations on keeping going, because it's not easy. You've been together for 8 years, you said? 9?
8 years.
So congratulations, because
Thank you.
So now what's next? What's the dream? What's the goal? It could be next week, next year, 5 years from now. I don't know. What did you guys want to achieve? What's the message? And
Well, I think at the moment, what we are doing, due to what has happened in the world, we've realized that we have to shift a little bit the work that we do, and like for many years we have been mainly creating pieces for indoors, for theaters, for indoors, and now we have to shift a little bit more to outdoors. There's loads of demand, there's loads of offer, so we really wanted to expand our repertoire to outdoors. So we created this duet, family-friendly performance that we are performing in September. We performed this summer a couple of times, and we are now back in September performing in London in 2 different festivals for kids and families. So we have that, and then we are now waiting for a funding application for the creation of the revolving stage, which is Women of the World, which is a new piece that we are creating for outdoors on a revolving stage. So we have created this huge stage that turns, that rotates, and we are performing on top and out and off this stage. So that's what we are planning to do now. Hopefully this creation will be for about 5 weeks. So it will be one of the longest creations that we've had since starting the collective, and we are incredibly excited, and we are literally crossing our fingers to receive this funding. And I think as a collective, we've noticed and we've felt that we have now the capacity and the experience to go more with the work that we are doing, to push more our work, and to be able to not only work maybe a month as Feet Off the Ground on a creation or creatively, and then having some workshops and some teaching opportunities as Feet Off the Ground. And we've realized that we are able to go a step further, to just push our boundaries a little bit more and to work as a collective during the year more consistently, like to create more work, to have more teaching opportunities as feet of the ground and not only as individuals. So yeah, working more for feet of the ground.
More amazing. So more performance, more workshop, more everything. What about you? What about you, Sophie? What's the
Yeah, pretty much what Pat said. I mean, we've got a real drive now with our outdoor work. So the creature conference that we already have made and Women of the World working title, which we hope to create fully. So when we have these two pieces, our aim is to be hopefully touring it for up to 6 months of the year. You know, when the festival season starts in May and ends like, you know, late September. How long's that? May, June, July. You've got 5 months of the year.
yeah.
You know, doing that quite extensively, and then the other part of the year doing commissions for other youth groups and, you know, conservatoires, leading workshops, and just kind of continue to on this trajectory that we're on. I think it's now just about pushing and expanding what we've got, because it feels like we're really onto something good. In the last year or two, we've made like a real kind of jump, and I think we're all really excited about the way things are developing. So we just want to keep on going, doing what we're doing, basically, and see what happens.
Yeah. You're in it. Go for it.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get in it, and then you're like,
Yeah,
that's it. You have to push. I've seen the revolving stage. You guys did a YouTube video on it, right? Was it?
Yeah.
I was watching it before I did this interview, and I was thinking, oh my God, I would get so sick because you you keep rotating, and then just. I know for people that don't do that, but how can you not get sick when the stage keeps moving?
Well, I think there, like we've talked about this, like when we finished this, like when we started working with the revolving stage was like a complete like learning how to walk from scratch, you know, from the beginning. Like it is a new physical demand. It is a struggle. And when we during these 2 weeks of research, like many of us said that when we were at night sleeping, like the room was rotating. Like it is something that, it is a new experience.
It's not normal.
Yeah, no.
8 hours a day.
Good, because I thought, I was like, wow, this is, and you guys talking about like it's normal. I was like, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah. I think something that we noticed, because we hadn't had the opportunity to watch it from outside, like when we watched back this recording, we were like, oh my God, I think it is even more challenging for audience than for us being inside, you know, like inside somehow you are able to focus or like see each other, and you're not so focused on like, oh, I'm spinning, but the person seeing it from the outside, like at least in the screen, can be quite like, oof.
More so on screen, because we had feedback from quite a few people watching the live stream that it made them feel a bit sick, like just the motion, whereas we had a small live performance and no one felt that, which is great, because obviously we don't want audiences to feel ill. That's not
That's okay, cool. So maybe it's the way also the camera goes on in and out, and it could be that. I don't know, but so the goal would be to go on tour and do that for 6 months. So cross fingers, you guys will get it, and boom, a 6 months tour. I mean, that's the dream. Is the dream for me too. I'm like, can we go now? Can I go now?
Let's go. It'll be, if we get funding, I mean, for the creation, if we do manage to, do quite an extensive tour, it's gonna be huge for us, because the logistics of transporting a 638 kilogram stage, which is huge, in the van, all the gear, like it's just big. Usually we rock up and it's just us. We have very small kind of technical requirements and, not much costumes and prop, but this will be a real kind of step up for us. We'll be going real mid-scale. I think up to now, everything's been much kind of more small scale, but we'll be really taking that that leap up, which is really exciting.
Yeah, big production.
Yeah.
It's like Feet Off the Ground are coming into town.
Yeah.
There you go. I got the slogan for you guys.
Like it.
Okay, cool. So I just one thing for people that don't know you guys, if you could sum up in one sentence the message. It could be a different message from each person, but what would be the message that you want people to feel or get when they come and see you? Also, because you guys are 4 women, does that has something to do with what you're creating? And yeah, tell us, what's the message?
I think for me will be like to feel welcomed, to feel that they can be moved in a way somehow. If they can be moved in some way, then that's great. And if they feel welcomed, then that's also something that in any capacity that we work in, we try to create this environment where people can feel connected and can feel that can have a good time.
Okay, thank you.
So like some of the words that come to mind is like community, connection, and friendship. And I'd love people to get a real sense of those things when they watch us. But also the way we work as a collective and the kind of foundations that we're built on, I'd like people to feel like, oh, I'd love to do that. You know, it doesn't always have to be this top-down structure, you know, that anything is possible. You can, you know, team up with a few of your mates and create something really special. And I think that's one of the really special things about Feet Off the Ground. Yeah, the way in which we work. And I think that does come across to people. People always comment on the connection and the relationship between us. And yeah, that's something that's really, really special to me.
Yeah, I think it has to do that you feel that in the performance, because it almost feel like every time I see you guys, I have this kind of, oh yeah, like we should all do that. And it just express, you know, it just feels like there's a freedom. I think it's the freedom that's so appealing to, you know, to anybody, to myself. That's just kind of like there's that once you have freedom with your body, I feel like it creates freedom towards it creates everything, peace. That's my take on this. So yeah, that's I would add that.
Yeah,
freedom.
Yeah.
All right, so we're coming to the end of the interview. I just have fast, rapid questions for you guys. So here we go. I guess we'll just continue with the order with Patricia starting and Sophie, you go. Or we could do the other one around. Doesn't matter. It's easy question. Okay, so here we go. What is your favorite dance pose?
My favorite dance pose.
Yeah. or and why? It could be nothing. It could be, I don't know, standing as a pose as well, but.
Well, I think my strength is my arms. So I always kind of like move the arms a lot. I don't know if there's a pose in itself, but I kind of like focus on arms.
Arms. Got it. Okay, cool.
Let's go for something that's inverted. So any kind of position or shape that is upside down. Head to the floor, feet in the air.
I love it. That's cool. What is your favorite day of the week and why?
I now like Mondays because because Mondays is my because of yoga, Mondays is my day off. So I kind of like I've decided that Mondays is a day of resting and like reflecting, and then Tuesday is like let's get started. So Mondays for me actually.
Mine's Friday. Friday is when my partner Ash gets home. He works away, so it's like a reuniting, which is really nice. And then often I'm either working at the weekend, but my weekend work is often like really fun, or we have nice plans and we see friends and families. Yeah, Fridays are a good one.
Amazing. What is your best achievement? Something that you've achieved that you're the proudest of. It could be something small, big, whatever it is.
I think kind of listening to myself and like following what my gut is telling me to do. And I think, like just working on the things that I love doing. For me, that's been my main like best achievement. Yeah.
Very nice.
For me, it really is like working with my friends. Like, I'm so proud of Feet Off the Ground, and this last project cemented that even more. Like, at the end of the week, we did the performance on the revolving stage, and I just felt such a sense of pride within, and I was quite overwhelmed by like the whole thing. And I just thought, what an amazing thing that we've managed to create, the four of us, and that we're keeping going. I think, hopefully we keep it going as long as we can, because that's been a real achievement, I think.
Yeah, I wish you guys only that, but I mean, you don't even need my wish. It will keep going.
No.
You're on the beginning of an amazing road. So, and my last question is, as Feet Off the Ground, you were given an elephant. You cannot sell it or give it back. What would you do with it?
What, an actual elephant?
A real elephant, an animal.
Sophie, you go first because I don't know.
If we were given an elephant, what would we do with it?
Yeah, you can't give it back. You can't sell it. You got a huge elephant.
We'd first befriend it.
Okay.
It could become a fifth member of Feet Off the Ground, obviously cruelty-free.
Yes.
And could star in our shows with us. We could do contact with the elephant. They could like swing us up on the trunk, swing us around.
I like that. Okay, cool. You could bring it on your massive production.
Yeah, the elephant could carry the stage.
No, definitely tour around the world.
Yeah.
There you go. You be the first collective to have an
Exactly.
elephant. Okay, cool. All right, well,
therefore, we will need to find a way that we can lift the elephant somehow. The elephant needs to be lifted.
Yeah, one on each leg.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a work in itself, but you guys could do it. So, hey. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining and answering all my questions. It was amazing to have you, and see you around, and best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast has been created by myself, Andrea D, and produced by Aaron Knight. To learn more, listen to the music, and join our mailing list, please go to andread.me. If you would like to be a guest on the show, don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to know more about your story. Last but not least, if you would like to contribute to this podcast, please do. We would love to keep going and make amazing episodes that inspire you. So don't forget to click on the link below. See you soon.